afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? This is Latrice, your Take Back Your Life coach. How are you today, ladies and gentlemen, around the world, my personal Facebook friends and family? Yes, I am back again, and I have some great information that we are going to cover today. Let me first briefly introduce myself. Okay, you know my name is Latrice because I've already told you that. Where's my music? You know, I don't like to do this without music. Let's do it. Oh, yes. Today, we're going to get stronger. We're going to have more courage and wisdom from this talk. I needed to come on with India Ari. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in to me for the very first time, I am the happiest woman on the planet, and I'm black. I crack up every time I say that. This is Latrice again coming to you. I have put on my woke and ready shirt. Can y'all see it? It says woke and ready. Because I'm woke and ready to deal with some problems in our world that are not serving us, humanity. That's right. Y'all know me. I'm your spiritual GPS. I am the person who rocks with the source, which is why I'm so happy. The source of all things. Some of you refer to that source as the universe. Some of you refer to it as God. Some of you refer to that source as Allah. Some of you refer to that source as, I don't know, rocks. I don't know how you refer to the source, but just know that that's where you and I come from. And I am so happy that I am powered by the one and only source, because with that power, I'm happy. I'm a lifer. That's what a lifer does. A lifer enjoys, appreciates, and live their life to the best of their ability. And I'm trying to bring all y'all with me. Come on now. Hey, Marcus. Come on. Let's go get that best life, right? So after I love animals and people and our planet, I then move forth into the universe, helping people get on the other side. Hey, Terry, good to see you. Get on the other side of their problems and their pain, which I had to do. Took me quite a long time. I had to prepare for you guys. So I've been in an extensive training of getting rid of pain, like 35 years of it. Outside of the fact I went to school for nursing, I know some things about this human body, and because God has been working with me for quite some time to prepare for what I'm doing now on the planet, fulfilling my purpose, helping people process their pain of the past so that we can be better in life. I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than that, right? So because I have moved forth with helping our future administration that's going to be taking office, I don't know when, because the old one don't look like they want to let it go. I don't know when it's going down, but whenever it goes down, I heard our future president and vice president say that they want to heal the soul of America. And I said, I'm going to help you do that, because I'm so sick and tired of the soul of America being broken, okay? So here I am. So here's one way we're going to heal the soul of America. And guys, if you're just tuning in, I'm your spiritual health and wellness coach, and what I specialize in specifically is helping us to heal conditions of the soul. You know, that mind, that will, those emotions that run through. I don't know if you know anything about it, but it's a very important piece of who you are. And because, unfortunately, many of us don't know how to process the problems in it, we remain stuck in our problems. And then our problems become bigger problems, and then our bigger problems become just things that keep us stuck. Sometimes it hurt us to a degree that sometimes they could take our life. Our problems. We can't do that. Not with me being on the earth any longer. I want to help us move past that. So here's the problem today that we're going to take on. Are you ready for me, ladies and gentlemen? Can I tell you that today is the day that we are going to deal with the pain of rejection. The pain of rejection. How many of you struggle with something that it could have happened yesterday? You know, fellas, you probably saw a beautiful young lady and you kind of put yourself out there in a vulnerable space to initiate conversation and she rejected you. Rejection doesn't feel good, but here's the thing. I want to tell everybody about rejection. We all have to go through it. And it's a cause of a lot of pain on our planet. Now, you know, when I put my glasses on, I'm coming with serious business. I need to see what I'm doing. But when I put my glasses on, that means we about to go in. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to go in and deal with rejection, because rejection can come from broken promises. Rejection can come from love gone wrong. Rejection is the cousin of abandonment. The definition of rejection, according to Webster: rejection occurs when a person or a group of people excludes an individual. How many of us have been there? You've been excluded, or someone refuses to acknowledge or accept you. And then rejection is so closely related to this other poison toxin that many of us live within our bodies called abandonment, which means, you know, we desert someone, we leave, maybe never to return, never return into their lives. I'm sorry, I got to get it all together. My tongue was getting twisted. How many of you have been through that? I guarantee you, every human being, let's just say 7 billion of us are now on the planet. It's over 7 billion people. Every one of us are going to face rejection. How many of us effectively move past the pain of rejection? I said effectively. I didn't say you didn't move on. I said effectively. I didn't say you know, it stopped you from living. Maybe it prevented you from living your best. Maybe it sabotaged some relationships. Maybe you're still dealing with it. Let's dive into it, guys. Do you know, according to psychology today, MRI, you know, like the brain scans, those studies show that the same areas of your brain become activated when we experience rejection as when we experience physical pain. That's why rejection hurts so bad. I mean, it impairs you. I mean, it impacts you neurologically, right? Why? Because we all have a fundamental need. God created us to belong. So it's our desire. It's our desire to belong to a group. So when we get rejected, this need becomes destabilized, guys. And this disconnection occurs, and we all get hit by pain. Did you guys know this? That rejection creates a greater risk for adolescent violence, drugs, poverty, or gang membership? Do you know a lot of our young people find themselves joining gangs because gangs create connection? Because maybe they've been rejected by maybe their own tribe, their family. Maybe they're rejected at school. Maybe they were rejected by their mother or their father. So they join gangs to belong. Guys, we got to deal with this rejection that many of us are doing unconsciously to each other. Countless studies have demonstrated that even mild rejection lead people to take out their aggression on innocent bystanders. Why? Because when we have unprocessed pain, it's going to get out. It's coming out. So we project it onto others. School shootings take place oftentimes because shooters felt rejected by others at the school. Violence against women. There are some men out here that become violent because they felt rejected or abandoned by their mothers or other women in their life. Ladies and gentlemen, we must do better. You always hear about this comment, this whole thing about people going postal. Fired workers, when you get fired, do you feel like you got rejected? Hell yeah, you feel like you got rejected. You worked all these years on this job. You done gave your time. You've given your energy. You feel like you have taken away from the time from your family. And the first one that they gonna let go is you. Oh, I'm gonna get you back. That's what the person who feels rejected, that's what they're saying. So when we ask ourselves, why would they do that? Rejection drove them to do it. It's a powerful toxin that sits in our body and it accumulates over and over and over and over again. There's a very strong link between rejection and aggression. Rejection and aggression. Now, outside of the fact that both of those words end in ION, one helps to create the other. So when you are rejected and you don't know what to do with that pain, you want to go hurt somebody. I decided to become a life coach with my rejection, so I wouldn't hurt anybody. Could you imagine this sweet face on the front of the newspaper or on the front of your CNN or MSNBC or any one of those news channels? This sweet face lost it and decided to go take people out because that's what my aggression or that's what my rejection did. It caused me to lose my mind and take somebody out. I decided to deal with it so it would not happen. See, dealing with our pain helps to create a healthy society. Guys, we got 7 billion people on the planet. Everyone's going to feel rejection. But some of us feel it over and over and over and over again, and they can't take it. And so guess what? It's coming out. I don't want you to get hurt by rejection, and I don't want your rejection that you're carrying to hurt somebody else. That's why we're talking about it today, all right? But most of the rejection, quite frankly, it may not come out. It will destroy you internally. There are people in my family. I've observed it much of my life, that have substance abuse issues. I wonder how much of that is tied to rejection. Rejection as a child, as a teenager, and you don't know what to do with it. You don't want to hurt anybody, so you go and you drink all day. Maybe cocaine to help me get past this rejection. Maybe becoming abusive to animals, kids. Who knows what's driving this stuff up here? Maybe smoking crack will help me get past the rejection. You know how many people said that? Maybe committing a crime. I can't get them back, but I'm going to take it out on them. guys, it's real. How do we respond to romantic rejections? Ladies, men, the best of us have been in that situation. Some of us have been the victims, others have been the perpetrators. Let's keep it real. I've been the one rejected and I've been the one rejecting. Okay? But when you are rejected romantically, oftentimes what happens is we begin to find fault in ourselves. We start bemoaning inadequacies, meaning you start thinking about, wow, maybe I'm not good enough. I can't believe this happened again. What's wrong with me? That's how you bemoan your inadequacies, right? You kick yourself around. I mean, it's like, you know, we find ourselves in a place where we're in a battle with our self-esteem, our self-confidence, our self-worth. It's all tied to rejection. It really is. I've given you some examples of rejection. And guys, I'm not doing this to stir you emotionally. I'm not doing this to hurt you. I don't want you to revisit your pain. What I want you to do is realize it's in there, it's not being dealt with, and it's hurting you. I mean, think about this. I mentioned before, men oftentimes, because of our culture, many of us have been accustomed to the man taking the lead and asking a woman out on a date or asking for a woman's telephone number or whatever that may be, right? You know how many men have to get rejected by women for whatever the case, right? It don't matter if they fine as wine or, you know, maybe they may not necessarily be physically appealing to you, but it takes a lot of boldness to ask somebody to accept you. And over and over and over again, a lot of men get rejected, right? So guess what? Men are like, nah, it's a new day. I'm going to let her ask me out on a date. I'm going to let her ask me for my telephone number. And some of us ladies have decided to go along with that program, and now we feeling rejected. I didn't say, did I say we? I don't do that. See, my daddy said, let me tell you what Purpose told me. Baby, and he said it just like this because he was from Mississippi and that's how he talked. Baby, if a man wants you, he's coming after you. But how about the man that came after you, did everything to get your attention? I mean, wined you and dined you. He was just, what do they say? What's that term for it now? When they love bombing you. You give him a chance and then he disappears. He ghosts you. You're like, damn it, didn't you ask me to get with you? And now you gone? Rejection. They call it ghosting now. Like Casper the Friendly Ghost. One moment you're creating beautiful dreams of what tomorrow's going to be like, and the next minute you like, where are you? And then you're stuck picking up the pieces of your dream, of your life, of your heart, trying to figure out how to put it back together because rejection has just hit you again. How about this? How many of you were little children? And you were rejected by your mother or your father because they decided that they no longer wanted to be in your life. It's a lot of people that rejection was their first introduction to pain. Or you're in a relationship that resulted in a birth of a child and the person doesn't want you, they just want the baby. And a good example of that, I don't watch reality TV too much, but I remember on the Atlanta Housewives, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Housewives of Atlanta, Kenya Moore, for years, wanted a baby. for years wanted a family. She got married, got pregnant, had the baby, and in the beginning, her husband seemed like he didn't want her. He just wanted the baby. And what's interesting about that is that years ago, on earlier episodes, Kenya was dealing with the rejection from her own mother. So it was really interesting to see how that was created in her situation again. How her mother rejected her, and then her husband went on to reject her. Now, I think they may have worked something out since then, but we all witnessed the pain of it. We all have heard of stories where, or experienced this for yourself personally, where you were waiting at school for your mom or your dad to pick you up and they never arrived, or they were supposed to come to your game, or they were supposed to come to your performance and they never showed up. Rejection. Yesterday I was watching an interview with Busta Rhymes. You know, the hip-hop artist Busta Rhymes got all that energy and stuff. He's a legend in the game. And he was having a conversation with Van from CNN. And he had shared a story of, you know, as he was growing up, when he was growing up, his dad was not really supportive of his hip-hop career because his father was a traditional alpha male who was an engineer, and he didn't think that Busta Rhymes was going to have a career in hip-hop because, you know, when hip-hop first came out, all of our parents was like, what the hell is going on with this? This is the new music of the day? So Busta was one of the pioneers. I wouldn't say pioneers, but he was certainly one of the most popular artists in the hip-hop world. And he just shared how he went to the Apollo, and leaders of the new school got, they were booed, right? Sorry, guys, I haven't had my coffee today. And afterwards, his father was at the performance, and his father was kind of happy about it, you know? And Busta shared, you know, you could tell even when he was telling the story that how that still hurt him. Now, his father, they went on to work out their situation over time, but sometimes the pain of rejection is you never heal from, because because people always tell you, oh man, ignore it, get over it, stay strong. They don't ever tell you how to deal with it. And that's the problem. It's too big of a pain for you not to deal with it, right? So Busta Rhymes is sitting up here telling this story about his father rejecting him. And what it did, however, is he allowed it to empower him. See, I'm not going to spill the beans right now. I'm going to tell you how to deal with it. But let's continue to move forward, okay? Stick around, and I'm going to tell you what you can do with your rejection that you're carrying. How about this? Maybe you put your heart and soul into a relationship, maybe a marriage for many years. I have a good girlfriend that was married for 25 years, and one day her partner, her husband, the father of her children came home and said, you know what? I don't want this relationship no more. A lot of people find themselves in that predicament. They do. Rejection. That's some hurt feeling right there, baby. You done gave 25 years of your life. Right when the kids are going off to college. Right when it's time for y'all to have to develop a new chapter in your life. A new chapter in your marriage. Your partner says, no, I've changed my mind. I want a new chapter, but not with you. Whew. We've already talked about how people find themselves working for companies for many, many years. The company says, oh, we're making some changes, and one of those changes, we're going to let you go. It's business. It's not personal. You a damn lie. That was personal to me. It's going to affect me personally. It's going to affect everything personal to me, but again, that's the pain of rejection. Guys, look, many of us been rejected by our family, the closest people to us. You know how hurtful that is to be rejected, abandoned by family, maybe a social group, a tribe. Some of us been rejected by a church family. Some of us are rejected by what we call our rat pack. You know, that group of us, we get together, whether it's a group of women or a group of men, you get together, you hang out, you enjoy each other, something goes wrong and you kicked out the group. Rejection. They decided they no longer want you a part of it. Maybe they found out you were a Republican and they were all Democrats. And they like, you gotta go. I don't know. Maybe you feel like life is rejecting you right now in this moment. The doors are shutting. Opportunities seem like they're not there for you right now. You don't know where to go. You don't know where to turn. Life feels like it's rejecting you. I mean, guys, the sting of rejection is real. There are people who were stood up at the altar in front of all their friends and family. They invested thousands of dollars in a wedding day, and the groom got cold feet, or the bride got cold feet, and they decided at the very last minute, in front of maybe, I don't give a damn if it was in front of one other person. It could have been in front of the pastor. That's some embarrassing shit. But let's just say it was hundreds of people get to see you humiliated and rejected and abandoned on the day that's supposed to be the greatest day of your life. Ooh, baby, that's hurting me. And as a parent, how many of you witnessed your children get rejected? I mean, I personally, I have a 9-year-old who I love, and I know you love your children too. I be wanting to kick kids' ass when she get rejected. God is still working on me. And I handle it professionally, or not necessarily professionally, but I do handle it in a way where I can explain it to my child, where we deal with the pain of her rejection. But I will say this. Hey, Larry, there are a lot of us out here that have kids, and you know how those three-way relationships, they are so hard to maintain, particularly with girls. I don't know what it is, but when you have those three-way, relationships, when three of the kids get together, there's always going to be one that feels left out. And what they're battling against is not being connected in the group, and they don't know how to balance off. Somebody has to be the other one's friend more than the other. So enough of that. I gave you several examples. Rejection is real. Now, after you've been rejected, oftentimes what happens is that your mind is left in a ball of confusion. You're trying to make sense of it all. You're replaying it over and over and over in your head. Why did it happen like this? I thought it was going to go this way. Was it me? Did I say something? Because rejection will have you really torn up inside, right? Sometimes outside of the confusion, depending on how the situation went down, you're struggling with grief. You're struggling with blaming people, blaming yourself. You're ashamed. But at the heart of where it is, you're hurt. You're hurt. You're hurt. And I just want to tell everybody right now, if you have suffered through rejection, if you're going through it right now, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry it happened to you. I've been there. And if we really want to be honest with each other, every person that ever came out of a woman's womb, I don't know how animals deal with rejection. I think they kind of get over it. But you human beings that are true spiritual beings, All of us go through it. So I'm here to support you and myself, because I still go through it. It never, ever feels good. You just get better at dealing with it, okay? The reason why it continues to hurt is because it's unresolved pain. I mean, really, you're dealing with things that are unresolved because you're replaying it in your head over and over again. So you're always going back to the scene of the crime, and then we personalize it. We personalize what somebody else did to us when it really wasn't about us to begin with. It was about them. It directly impacts your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-value when you personalize it, right? Playing it out over and over again instead of healing it is hurting you more and more. And then what happens is you begin to hurt others with it. So now what somebody did to you, because you didn't deal with it, now you're hurting your kids with it. You're hurting your relationships with it. You're afraid to trust. The rejection has created an identity that is now impacting other areas of your life. Sometimes you won't go back into a relationship because you don't have the confidence to do it. Sometimes you begin to become paranoid when something new comes into your life. Or worse, you keep attracting it over and over and over and over again, like I did. Because I didn't know how to heal through it. I just kept... Sometimes I would be quiet. Sometimes I would, handle it in a more aggressive way, not to hurt anybody else, but I was just pissed off about it. And it wasn't healthy, right? However I handle it. But let me just share a personal story so you can understand this. I know how it feels deeply to be rejected, because there was someone, a member of my family, who I was extremely close to, both in terms of relationship and proximity of where they were in my family, and I was not invited to their wedding. Did you hear what I said? I was not invited to their wedding. The biggest day of their life, I was absent from it. Now, they came up with some excuses. Oh, I had a small wedding. It was just a few people. I would not have even gotten married if they would not have been there. Do you know how difficult it was for me to live with that for years? I struggled with it. I couldn't even look at the wedding pictures. I couldn't even be happy that they are married. Even on their anniversaries, which they have been celebrating. I still, you said bring them on camera. Hey, Annie. No, that's not necessarily what I want to do with it. What I want to do is use it as a way to help other people heal. Because you know what? I had to get to a point inside of myself where I said, it could not have been about me. It was about them. And we went on and moved past it. We moved past it. And eventually, I healed from it, but it took a lot of work, because it was like they slapped me in the face and told me, you're not shit to me. That's what it felt like to me. So I understand rejection on levels that, quite frankly, I didn't want to feel it on that level, right? I've been divorced. Well, I am divorced. That was a form of rejection. Now, we know what it is. We all have experienced it. Let's look at it from a spiritual level. What does God source. Why does source allow rejection to take place? Because all things are lessons that God will have you to learn according to A Course in Miracles. So at the end of rejection, you could find a blessing if you know how to go get it, right? First of all, rejection is here to help you become resilient. Rejection is here to birth resilience. I spent a lot of my time being in a career, some sales capacity. And initially, I started my sales career at my family's business, WVON in Chicago, in the advertising department. And we got told no all day, every day. Now, I got a lot of yeses, but those no's had to lead to yeses. What did it teach me? Resilience. What did it teach me? Stick-to-itness. What did it teach me? It helped me become better. So there definitely can be some benefits to going through that process. But what it also taught me is pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, to what people say and what they do from the very beginning. Meaning, I want you to begin to witness, I want you to begin to see the early signs that this person probably are going to reject you. Because if they reject themselves, they probably going to reject you. What I mean is, when people don't show up for themselves, whether it's their health or whether it's they say that they're going to do things and they don't do those things, whatever it may be. If they're not showing up for them, they probably not going to show up for you. Like, I have had a couple of people that I run into in my life who say, I don't really like people. And I thought the first one, it was kind of funny. Because I'd never heard anybody that admitted they did not like people. But what they were telling me is that, number one, they had been hurt so much by people, which means they were carrying a lot of pain. They went through a lot of trauma. Human beings hurt them a lot, probably through rejection. And then, because they didn't like people, they probably were going to hurt me. And they did. The second time, that was kind of a warning, like, I heard this shit before. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I should become afraid. But what it did at that time, it taught me that this person's heart had been broken. They weren't willing to deal with their pain, and that love and fear cannot exist in the same space. Did you hear what I said? Love and fear cannot exist in the same space. They're like oil and water. And oftentimes what happens, ladies and gentlemen, is that these episodes or these occurrences or these situations where you have been rejected leaves you in a state of fear. And if you've been rejected over and over and over by adults or people who you entrusted to take care of you, and they reject you, when love shows up and say, I'm willing to accept you as you are, if you've never seen that, or if you heard it somewhere before and that person rejected you, you'd rather leave than go back through that pain again. You don't want to take the risk because you've been so deeply injured, because you're holding so much fear inside. Because my heart was well intended, but how could you tell? Because if your mother could do it, and your father can do it, or your grandmother could do it, or your sister can do it, or your brother would do it, or your pastor would do it, or your teacher would do it, or the police officer do it. Why wouldn't you do it to me, Latrice? I don't believe you. I gotta go. I gotta step away. I'm sorry. That's how I do business. It's not personal, but it was personal for me because all I wanted to do was love you. You see how it works? When we don't deal or heal, we ruin our opportunities to truly connect and experience true love. When we don't know how to handle all of the things that are poisoning us that other people inflicted. We will use it to hurt somebody else. And then you take the loss. Because now that love is going to go to somebody else. That's what happens. People abandon others. People reject others because oftentimes it goes back to what I'm saying every single day, guys. This is another example of what, these are examples of what unprocessed pain is doing to humanity. Our kids are feeling it at a young age, and they are not being taught properly how to deal with it. How do you teach your children how to deal with rejection? Oh, be strong. Don't worry about it. Do you think that's going to heal their heart? No, let me tell you what it's doing. It's going to numb their heart. And then what happens is they're going to eventually be a perpetrator if they were once a victim. Now, some of us are going to look at this and say, well, hell, that's just life. Everybody gets rejected. Yeah, well, it's just life when they out here killing, too. If you that cavalier about it, let's get real. It's just life when a man is beating on a woman or vice versa. Oh, it's just life. So stop talking about changing if you're not willing to change your mindset about this stuff, because these old ideas have expired. We can no longer keep living off of old information. We want everybody to do things for us when we got to do it for ourselves. And one of the things we have to do is be willing. You want to reject something? Reject that shit that's up here that's keeping us broken and broken. You want to abandon something? Abandon the belief that you can't heal. Abandon the belief that you're not hurt. If you really want to abandon something, if you want to reject something, reject who you were yesterday and be willing to become something better for yourself. And we all benefit when you become better. See, the world benefits when Latrice decided to become better. Because when Latrice decided to become better, I took personal responsibility so I wouldn't hurt you no more. I took personal responsibility so I can't hurt my daughter. Oh, and if I do, I can say I'm sorry and I can own my shit. The world gets better when I decide to become a better wife than who I was in my first marriage, because I didn't deal or know how to deal with my pain in that way. The world becomes better when all of us decide to take responsibility for being hurt, for being broken, and step forward with boldness and say, until today, that worked. But since I voted on election day, if you did, for a new order of business in my country, and what they are stating is that they want to heal the soul of America. Well, the soul of America, if you in this bitch, is you too. And I think we need to heal the soul of our world. So, as I always ask you to do, is stop committing a crime against yourself and running away from yourself, your shadow self. that other part of you. Stop smiling and hurting at the same time. Now, sometimes we got to do that. Sometimes, I'm not asking you to cry all the time. But what I am asking you is let your spirit match your smile. See, now my spirit matches my smile. Before I used to smile because I was in media, because I thought that's what you were supposed to, because I was in denial, because I didn't want you to be aware of how much of what I was going through. Before I was smiling because I was faking, or sometimes I wasn't smiling because I was hurting too bad and I didn't want to smile on that day. Today I smile every day. I woke up out the bed with a smile on my face. I said, good morning, what we doing, God? Or grand rising, what are we doing, God? And you know what he said? You're going to talk about rejection today. So I only get on here and share the things that are coming from the wisdom from the source that created me. And since rejection is a major problem in our world, let me tell you this. It's a major problem within ourselves. We are rejecting ourselves on a regular basis. We are rejecting taking care of our health and our bodies. Even during a corona crisis, we are doing that. We are rejecting looking at the things that are not so pretty inside of us and making excuses about why not, and coming up with all kinds of crazy ideas about excuses about not going to get help. Ladies and gentlemen, that old information is not going to work anymore. It's expiring. It's over. You want a new reality? You want to live that best life? You want to attract the kinds of relationships, whether that's intimate, whether that's business or otherwise, the kind of financial independence you've been looking for. You want to attract harmony. Start with attracting peace. And when you build your life on peace, you have to first, let's go deal with the thing your pain is sitting on your peace. That rejection from your mother, your father, your sister, and all of that in between, the teachers, your friends, the bullies at school, what have you, it's all sitting on top of your peace. The stuff that's happening in your workplace, from maybe some of you guys, I can't imagine what you're going through, but we all going through something. I'm going to invite you to grow up today. See, when you were a child, you acted as a child, as the word said. You thought like a child, you talked like a child, but today I want you to put away childish things. And childish things mean making excuses for being in your pain. Childish things mean stop being afraid to confront that which is really standing in your way. Because when you become emboldened with self-love, loving yourself is not just going to get a mani or a pedi or go into a spa. That's loving your nails. I mean, it's self-love on the surface. But when you want to really love yourself, you want to get rid of all those toxins that somebody else was responsible for. It had nothing to do with you. That was their pain. I'm going to invite you, give me a call. Schedule a consultation. Let's talk through it. Let's release it. And I don't take everybody. Let me just tell you. I don't take everyone on as a client because everybody is not for you. I am a mind and heart coherence coach. I'm an alignment coach. So I want to help you move forward and take that dream out of the sky and make it a reality for you. But we got to get past all this rejection. All it takes is a decision. That's it. for you to take responsibility for your life, to surrender to whatever's holding you back and make a decision to contact me and schedule a consultation. That's as easy as it is, and so you could do that. Also, at the end of this month, I'm hosting my soul massage, my virtual soul massage. I'm so excited about it. It is actually going to take place on the 29th, right after Thanksgiving. Y'all probably going to need a soul massage. You need it now. But it's on a Sunday at 1 p.m. It's a group of us. It's just 10. I'm halfway sold out right now. So y'all might as well go ahead and do it. It is an affordable way to work with me. And we're not going into anything too deep. A soul massage is really a very pleasant experience. We're detoxing this thing called the soul. And we're going to have a really great time. I invented this modality 10 years ago. And hundreds of people participated in it then. I'm bringing it back for such a time as this. So the information link will be posted. Also, guys, if you haven't done so by now, and you should have done it by now, damn it, I want you to check out my free ebook, The 10 Spiritual Truths to Prepare You to Take Back Your Life. This is how you can get it. I'm going to post the link. And once you sign up for my mailing list, you're going to get all the information about the things that I'm doing. I'm hosting a Corona recovery too very soon. I'm in the process of creating it, finalizing it for you so that we can start moving past that as well. Okay? So I really hope that this was very helpful, because I want you guys to change that rejection into resilience. I want you to learn how to leverage your pain, not allow it to sit in you like a toxic waste, growing through you, creating all kinds of other problems that it did not have to create because you decided that you weren't worth it. Let me tell you, you're worth it. God created you. That should be enough. He gave you a life, not for it to become stuck, not for somebody else to define it, not for something else to control it. Not for rejection to hold you back. Rejection is the pill that God is asking you to take in order for you to get to your resilience, baby. You're stronger. You're powerful. You're beautiful. You have unlimited potential. I don't give a damn what the world has told you. You come from the source. You are a divine source being. You just got a lot of programming up here that's telling you and have told us for generations. Misinformation. Okay. What you gonna keep doing? Believing that or believing something more? So forgive all of that stuff in the past. And guess what? When it comes back to you again, because it's coming, as long as you're breathing, you're going to get rejected. Yeah. I mean, something as simple as when you go play the lottery. If you haven't won the Powerball or the Mega, you got rejected. So that's going to happen. But next time it happens, you don't have to take it personally. Next time you have it, it doesn't have to impact your confidence or your self-esteem or add up or be added to all of that other stuff. You can let that rejection put a smile on your face. And then when you learn how to handle yours, now you can teach this younger generation so that they don't have to go find comfort in games. They don't have to find comfort in drugs. They don't have to find comfort in getting a gun and taking somebody's life because they felt rejected. Do you see how it all works? We're all connected, people. Let's act like it, okay? Now, I am leaving you because I'm about to go and have a play date with one of my very dear friends, Molly, and have a really good time. Because part of living a take back your life and being a lifer as I am, you must have fun at all times. Do you hear me? At all times. I don't give a damn what's happening. You got to find a way to put a smile on your face and laugh your ass off. And Molly is the best prescription for me to laugh today. So I want you to enjoy life. I hope this was helpful to you. And know that I love you no matter what. It ain't shit you can do about that. Bye.